what's
going
up?
on?
I'm cool. How you feeling?
Jess, how are you?
I'm great. Give me a proper handshake.
Hey, nice to see you.
What's
Finally
up?
pulled up on me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make us some drinks and then we're gonna sit and do our interview. Do you have any drink in mind? Because I was thinking Henny, honestly.
I mean,
that's my thing.
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Okay,
Yeah.
so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make us a blue glass.
Okay.
Nipsey Blue.
Nipsey Blue. Let's do it one
Let's
time.
pay homage.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is the blue glass.
Okay.
Henny for breakfast. We're gonna go sit over there and we're gonna have a little talk.
Cool.
A little interview, okay?
Let's get it.
You got the drinks? So we're here at Bedford Manor today. I'm here with one of the few people that I really love and enjoy, and I'm a big fan of. We here with Just the Essence.
What's up? What's up?
We got Queens in the building again, because
Always.
you already know what type of time I'm on. Just how are you feeling today?
I feel amazing.
Thank you for
amazing.
being here with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So what's been going on? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Just the Essence. I like long walks in the park.
Hey.
I'm an artist from Queens. Love music. Love good music. Love making good music, and just trying to change the world one believer at a time is probably
Really?
my agenda.
So how do you plan on changing the world as far as your music? What is important to you, and what do you put in your music to make sure that your message is getting across?
Well, I just speak from my life experiences and things that I see, and how I interpret the world. I'm not saying it's the right way, and every other way isn't good, but I've seen some things, I've endured some things, and I'm still alive. So why not speak on it for people who don't get a chance to speak for themselves, or
Right.
are looking for a little bit of direction, I guess is probably the right word.
Right.
But just speak from my heart, from my soul, and let God talk.
Okay. Now, I've been a fan of you.
I appreciate that.
I want to know personally, what was your inspiration or your thought process when you were making Pretty Girls? Because that's one of my favorite songs. I've been waiting, you guys, I've been waiting for forever for this song, this video to come out. But that's another story.
That's another story.
But
another
can
day.
you just tell me a little bit about the process and how that song came about?
Well, that song came about, we were working on Conflict. It's on Conflicted, a tragic love story. I was just in a whole nother space at that time. They say heartbreak makes some of the best
Of
music,
course.
So
Thank you, Mary.
Oh man, I guess I'm married, right? No,
No, that's not what I was saying. But anyways.
But yeah, that song, I remember being in the studio with Germ. Germ produced the whole album.
Okay.
Fire producer, if y'all don't know about him
Yes.
already, check him out.
Shout out to Germ.
Yeah. And he just had this beat that he cooked up, and it was just fire, and I just started like singing the hook. I actually got like video of that night. It was like 3 a.m, and I was gonna leave, but then he turned that on, and then just started going crazy. So it's kind of like the beat started saying the words to me. That's what happens most of the times with most of my songs. They're usually stemming from conversations, and then like the beat kind of tells me which conversation to tap into. So that one did.
Okay. So what has been your favorite project so far?
Well, I love them all. They're like your babies, So it's like you don't really love one more than the other. But right now, the last one, The Butterfly Effect, The Believer Story, that album is very, very personal. It's about a lot of growth, change, and just trying to be. On the album, it says, it's not about boy to man, it's about man to king. So it's just pretty much claiming who I am and speaking it out loud and
evolving.
Evolving and flying,
That's what's up.
Yeah, this is the album cover. In case y'all don't know, y'all can pick this up at thebelieverstore.com.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite project right now, other than the book.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into that.
Okay.
So you brought up the butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about La 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 Part 2 and why that was important for you to make that song?
I mean, I like speaking on social issues,
Right.
Things that we see. So that was a record. It's called La 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 Part 2 because there's a La 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 Part 1, which was about social issues as well. And people like to, I guess, go to La 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 to kind of get away from their problems. This one, I kind of wanted to throw some real graphic words, I guess is the term, and graphic images in the video.
Yeah, the video is very impactful.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I just, ultimately, when I make music, I just hope to create a conversation because I believe change comes from conversation. You know, there's a lot of things that we just don't talk about, whether we're too scared to talk about them or we don't know what to say about them. But sometimes you just got to do is less thinking and actually just doing. So that record just, one night, matter of fact, it was Germ's birthday. Him and Rick Hurst, they just started vibing. And I remember looking at some, it was Black History Month, and I had gotten a text about like some Malcolm X, like some of his speeches, like rare speeches that they were going to show on the Smithsonian Channel or something like that. And it happened while they were doing the beat. And I was just like, yeah, I know where I'm going to go with this. And then it just happened. And then it turned into like a tribal spiritual thing.
Definitely sounds like it.
At the end of the record. I just wanted to kind of involve people. Those are like good friends of mine who came in and did something that was different. Because I just, it takes a village. Like I could talk about it, but it's about how people are receiving and what they're doing with it. So just kind of wanted to bring in that element. You don't really see that too much in hip hop.
So tell me a little bit about why it's important for you to represent your country, Haiti, and tell me a little bit about growing up in Queens and what part of Queens and all of that.
Oh, that was a lot. Say that again. So
I know, that was like 3 parts. I'm sorry.
All good now. So I grew up Haitian.
Okay.
I'm very proud of my culture. I realize it's made me. I speak Creole, so I guess English was my second language, even though I was born here. I love it. I can't think of a better reason why. I don't know. It's a beautiful place. It gets a lot of bad talk.
Right. I heard it is beautiful there.
It is.
And of course, those aren't the images that are projected to us.
Not at all. But I mean, it's all about if you want to buy into what they're telling you.
Right.
You got to find out things for yourself. So if I can help people find out about it and show them, because at the end of the day, Black people are beautiful. And we're just another set of Black people who are beautiful, and there's a lot of, the culture is rich, the history is very important, I feel, to anyone who, all the people who say they're woke right now, like, you should know something about the Haitian Revolution.
That's what's up. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Queens, like growing up.
Oh, Queens, I love Queens.
How was that?
Like, it was cool. No, I mean, Queens is Queens. Like, it's so much culture in Queens. One thing I love about Queens is you could be like in the hood here, and then like right there you're not. And you run into so many different people. It's a melting pot. So if you just tap into that, like, you can learn so much about the world and about people. And I think it works well with my music. So I love it. I'm from Shadyville, Queens. Seen a lot of good things, seen some bad things as well, but it made me, so I love it. So I'll always be talking Queens. It's on my arm, my block's on my arm.
Hey.
It's always with me, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so aside from music, are there any other ventures that you're exploring that you can talk about? Like your book.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I blew it up.
Nah, that's all good. I'm putting out a book in September. It just got moved back a little bit. It's called Thoughts Become Things, Creative Moments, Creating Moments. I'm really excited about it. It's not something that I plan to do. I never, you can say you're an author because you write rhymes all day, but I never thought that I'd put it down like on paper for people to read.
Right.
And I'm really excited about it. It's a book about getting out of your head and into your purpose. And I learned that through doing selfie freestyle. So it's still very relatable to hip hop, but like anybody who's just feeling maybe stuck or nervous or just in their head too much, because I
Me
was
too.
in my head, you know, and not
I'm
doing
always
no
in my head.
Mhm.
I live in my head.
You gotta get out, read the book. You gotta
Right.
read the book.
Read your book.
Yeah, you gotta read my book.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can read other books too, but read that one first.
So what book would you recommend, aside from yours, what book would you recommend for not just me, anybody that is, you know, trying to strive for greatness, that's trying to be free mentally?
The last book that I read was A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I messed that up, but that book deals a lot with the ego, and you know, kind of just addressing it and acknowledging that it's present. And that was a really dope book. Somebody gave it to me as a gift, and I'm truly appreciative of it. So I hope to pass that book on to somebody who kind of needs it just the same way that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from music, who's your go-to comedian, or who's the goat of comedians for you personally?
The GOAT? I mean,
all right, just give me two. That's like up there.
Dave Chappelle,
Okay.
definitely, because I can still watch the Chappelle show, and Eddie Murphy. Like I feel like you can't have any of those conversations without Eddie Murphy and Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So that was three. My bad.
It's okay.
But yeah,
those are three valid ones.
Yeah, they're funny all the time. You know.
I'm trying to think who. I definitely would pick Dave Chappelle. I would pick Charlie Murphy because I thought he was hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah. I seen him one time and he was telling stories. He told the story about like Stevie Wonder catching a frisbee. It was hilarious, yo. So God bless the dead.
Tell me, who are your inspirations, or who got you into music?
All right. Some of my inspirations, really, it's just anybody who's like pushing the culture forward. Like, you could hear passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could feel passion as well. So, Kendrick, God bless the dead, Nipsey Hussle, YB and Corday, I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like Roddy Ricch as well. So it's just like people who are just doing different things and speaking their story, like,
and creating their own lane.
Yeah. Like, I'm all for it. I like it. I enjoy it, and I support it. It helps me. It pushes me to be my own person and realize that I got my own value to, you know, add to the world through music. So those are probably my inspirations.
And I know you were a big fan of like Prodigy and Nas.
Yeah.
Queens.
You know,
those are the ones that actually pushed you into music and inspired you in that way.
Yeah, most definitely. Nas is just Nas. I think like he's one of the greatest rappers ever, and I don't know. You just kind of grew up watching him. Like that's what you're supposed to be, you know. And so Nas is definitely a big one. I'm a big Prodigy fan as well. God bless the dead. And we could go on. It's not just, I also like Common, Ghostface Killer. They kind of molded my sound, I feel like, you know, because I listen to a lot of their music. Jay-Z as well too. How could I forget him? But you know, it's kind of, I think it's like a gumbo. Like you kind of grab from everywhere,
a little bit of that,
and you add your own flavor. So you know, I added my own flavor to what they've given to me. I guess that's the essence, you know.
So how did you get your name?
See what I did there?
How did you get your name, The Essence? Tell me about that.
Well, it started with Gist, right?
Okay.
So my real name is Arthur. When I was in school rapping one day, I said, you know, I was an arthologist, just being silly. And then, you know, black people, they ain't gonna say a 3-syllable name like that. So it was just like, Gist. So when I started like pushing a career, it was like, okay, what am I gonna call myself? I'll call myself Gist. And then I looked up what Gist meant, and it meant the essence, you know. So it was kind of dope. I want people to get the gist, understand what I'm saying, but also I draw from, you know, inspiration from the earth, from the essence. So yeah, that's how I got my name.
So if you could only live with one Nas project, only one, because we were erasing music, and you could only pick one Nas. Or you know what? How about this? Any album. It doesn't have to just be Nas.
Oh, come
What
on.
are you taking with you? All right, so should I just...
I mean...
All right, let's do Nas.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put you under pressure.
I probably... Oh, that's a hard one. But I'd probably say It Was Written. It Was Written was probably my favorite Nas album. I really like this new one. The Lost Tapes 2 is incredible. I think it's a lot of good music for the soul. But I'd probably go with It Was Written.
Okay.
You know, I think I was too young when Illmatic came out to understand. Probably the same for It Was Written too, but I don't know. I just identify with the album. Like that's probably, I probably have to take that one.
So, are there any upcoming Queens artists that you would like to work with? I know there's a lot of talented people out there, and I feel like our borough does not get heard the way that we're supposed to be heard. So, are there any that you would like to work with? Or?
Yeah, this like if you're from Queens, I want to work. Yo, if you're passionate about music, I want to work with you regardless. Because I'm just into that, you know. There's tons of Queens artists that are dope. Fly's dope. My dog Bandana's dope. Star Jella's dope. Kaya Baby's dope.
Oh yes. Oh, yeah. She is from Queens.
Yeah, she's from Queens.
She's fire.
Yeah, she's fire. She's fire. Yeah, I'm into making fire music. So like, let's get it. Let's get it. And it's not about like, I don't think anyone's better than anyone else. Like everybody's got their own value that they add in to all of this, and they have their own core following that they should be focused on. You know what I mean? So they have people that probably never heard me, and you know the other way around as well. So it's like, let's just cross the people, because I'm sure they'll like them just as much as they like me, and vice versa. So yeah, if you're from Queens, if you're from anywhere, if you're passionate about making music, let's do it. Let's do it.
So I want to know, what artists would you work with outside of New York City that is, you know, maybe on the West Coast, maybe down south? Because I love when two artists from two different regions come together. I feel like it's like the best music.
I'm excited for the day Kendrick Lamar and myself do something.
Kendrick's a Gemini, so we're like popping people. I've heard about
that's
myself.
why I want to do a song with him, because he's a Gemini.
Yeah,
you know, how'd you know?
That kind of makes sense.
I mean, he forces people to
think outside the box.
Think outside of the box and be their best, because you don't want to get left out. That boy will leave you out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just why not make a strong song, or you know, something that is gonna change the world. So the man has a Pulitzer Prize. You know.
Do you think
from
him
music.
and Kendrick and the J. Cole collab is ever gonna happen, or are they just playing with us? Even though he did do some work with the Dreamville project that just came out. Surprisingly.
I really
feel like
don't know.
they're trolling us, honestly.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, rappers gonna
Is that
tell
something that you would like to see happen?
Of course.
Okay.
They're both amazing artists, so like it's gonna be good music. That's the one thing that you know. Like, you know how you hear some people are gonna work together, or you hear certain albums are coming out, and you're just like, eh. Now that one, I think we know is gonna be great, and it's gonna be amazing if it happens. So like, it's on them. It's on them. And when the time's right, the stars align, they'll do it if it's necessary. If not, what's up? Let's, you know, I'll do it.
Throw you in there.
Oh yeah, I think I put in enough work, the 10,000 hours.
Absolutely.
I've done that. I stand on my craft. I stand on my music. Yeah, it'll be fun. I know Queens would be happy to see it.
Yeah.
They wanna see us involved in those kind of music conversations. You know, music that's gonna last, that's gonna be here. You know, like timeless, and it's something that, you know, sticks to your rib. That's something that I noticed in your other interview. Somebody was talking about that soul food music. Inf the God, that's another artist from Queens that I like. Yeah, just make something that sticks. That ain't gonna just be here today and gone tomorrow.
So do you feel like social media is watering that down?
What, music?
Music, everything, just like everything is more about it looking like it's progression instead of it actually being progression. So like artists are finessing it the way that works for them. I don't know what females is doing right now.
I mean, yo, like some people call it a weapon of mass distraction, right? So like,
That's good. Let me
you
use
like that?
Write it down.
It's in a song of mine. So no, I don't know. Like I can't be too concerned with what they trying to do, and I hope that they're not concerned too much with what anybody else is trying to do. So like people can finesse, do whatever works. Like if it's feeding your family or making you feel happy, then cool. Like it doesn't bother me. But I think like the cream always rises to the top. Like you could front all you want, but like when it's time, it won't check out. So like you can finesse as much as you want. That's why a lot of people don't last. So I wouldn't blame that on social media. Maybe that's part of the problem because everybody wants to do something to impress the next person and not impress themselves. Like to me, the most important thing is to impress yourself. Like, do you love yourself enough to be your best? Because people could feel when you're your best. Like your energy can be felt the moment you walk into a room. So, how you carry yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I try not to let social media do too much to me. I try limit how much that I'm on it. Because I want to be focused. There's things I gotta do. I'm en route to making my first million this year.
You gotta speak those things into existence.
Yeah, I spoke it.
It's there.
I need that. So
it's there, and when it happens, I need to borrow $20.
I got you.
All right, I'm just throwing that out there
only
now.
20?
Y'all
cool.
Heard me say it.
You heard her say only 20. I'll give you that now, actually.
All right. I remember you said that too, because I need gas to get But I also wanted to talk about, because I know on the Butterfly Effect, you had a lot of kids involved. I know you've always worked with kids. Why is that important to you?
I believe the children are the future.
Okay.
All right.
Cliche much.
Yeah, I don't know. I love kids. Like kids are like pure energy. That's one thing. Like
you get a lot of inspiration from them.
It's just pure love from kids. Like unless if a kid is taught otherwise or taught to be scared, like kids are just gonna laugh and smile. And it's like you're always gonna get the best out of people when kids are around. Whether it's they choose to watch how they talk or they're just happy because kids are around. So I've worked with children, and I don't know. I didn't like plan it that way.
Just happened.
Just kind of happened. It felt right. Like certain songs that I felt like I wanted some kids to be on it because I knew that it would shift the energy of the song and it would last. It was something that I wouldn't mind kids reciting. Let them believe in themselves a little bit.
So talk to me about the Believer brand and how that came about.
That was one of the best accidents, I guess, if you want to call it an accident, but I know it wasn't. That happened. It started from me actually going to a Nas concert. And this was a lower part of my life is what I'll call it. And he performed The World Is Yours, right? And I just remember in that arena feeling better, just like wanting to be able to do that for somebody, and then ended up going to the studio about like 2 days later, and I was telling Jerm about the show, and Jerm started cooking. It was an early morning session, and we did Believe. It ended up being Believe probably in like an hour or two. Then Callie got on it. Callie's another dope artist as well, and it was just a song. So I went and got the artwork done, and I kept looking at it. I was like, yo, let me just add the and RS to it. And the designer did it, and it just worked. It just looked good. So I just tried it, and the people wanted it. And the beautiful thing about it is, like it's almost like it speaks before. Like I don't have to say much. Like people see the logo, which is a blessing, and
they kind of know what it means.
Yeah, they tap into what it is, or maybe it's just it means something special to them. So really, that's what the whole brand is about. It's about letting people know that you might feel lonely, but you're not alone. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are on the similar journeys. Who need to believe in themselves or do believe in themselves, and it's kind of like I think that speaks that. So you mess around, you might find your next job opportunity if you run into somebody with a Believers hoodie or a Believers shirt, because you just kind of know what kind of time they on. So it's dope. It's a blessing that God gave to me, and we're gonna take that really, really far.
Okay.
Just in case y'all don't know. Shit.
Believers.
Yeah.
And I definitely got my shirt. Finally, it only took a minute, but it is what it is, right?
It got lost in the mail.
I think
that's what happened.
That's what they all say. What else can people, your fans, look forward to from you?
The book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about the book. It's also an audio book as well, ebook, and a tangible book. We're gonna get one of them in here, probably next to Cancun for Dummies.
Yes.
That's the balance.
I'm for it. I'm gonna read that one first, and then I read yours.
All right, cool. That works. That works. But the book, Those Become Things, Creative Moments, Creating Moments. It's a timepiece because it really is about January of this year to about April of this year, and it was just my growth as a writer, but then also just getting out of my head, because it's also a workbook at the end of the book,
right,
which kind of pushes people, gives some of the tips that help me to get out of my head, right? Writing things down, following a plan. So we have some planning sheets, I guess you could call them, at the end of the book, but the story and what happens through it is just a little bit of my growth. So I talk about, you're gonna get to see the world how I see it.
Right.
Some people might think that's crazy, but
no, I think that's good. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
I hope so.
Get their goals. It's hard to focus as a creative.
Yeah.
You overthink things a lot. I
All
know
the time.
I do.
You spend a lot of time overthinking.
Yeah, and second guessing yourself. And that's where, instead of just putting your idea out there and just seeing what happens and growing with it.
Yeah. That's ultimately, the book is based on doing those selfie freestyles that I couldn't, like, I never was really into just selfie freestyles. Like, I love making songs. So a selfie freestyle is almost like, 50 seconds, 60 seconds is what Instagram has. And I was missing out on an opportunity to touch people directly. And it was getting out of my head with that horrible thinking that, I don't know if I thought I was too good. I didn't think I was too good, but it just didn't appeal to me. But I was able to connect to way more people, and it helped me as a writer build my confidence. And what better way to touch people directly with the things that they're seeing. So
how can people find you if they want to hear your music, your catalog, if they want to reach out to you, send you some fan mail, ask for some money?
I mean, as long as it ain't 50 asking me for money. I don't owe 50 no money. Well, on Instagram and all social media platforms, it's Just Music, GISTMUSIC. Just the Essence. You can find all of my music on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Buy the music. The streams is kind of but either way, I hope that you just consume it and listen to it. But if you find it in your heart, support these artists, support us, please, because these streams stink.
Yeah.
They stink. But yeah, that's how you can find me. I'm easy to find. Just the Essence, the Believers store. You can get some of this merch, some dope hoodies. This is the newest piece. I'll probably give you a promo code.
Okay.
And it's gonna be bars by the bar.
Oh!
That's gonna be a promo code. All right, that works. Look at that. You see what I did there?
I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us. We at Bedford Manor, Just the Essence, Taya freaking Bea. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Comparing is a thief of joy. I'm too happy, so miss me with all the noise. It's pretty clear I'm nothing like other boys. I'm on my job here, I'll never be unemployed. They like, just you too positive. How dumb you sound, tell me what the better option is. Be like you with everything so monotonous, or be the best me and these girls talking provocative. The boys in love, jockey, just put a sock in it. I give what I get, and trust me, I got a lot of it. The Bobby's killing Browns, I'm thinking it's their prerogative. And Donnie locks them down, cause school ain't where the profit is. What up, though? Time is running out. It's for real, though. Fuck the politics. I'm trying to heal, bro. Life's a bitch, but don't get hit with the dildo. Trying to split my meals with who I split meals, bro.
Hey, we here, Just the Essence.
Yeah.
Bars at the bar.
Bars at the bar.
Fire.
Appreciate you.
Fire, Queens in the house.